What is up, my Africana angels? This is part 2 of my wig series, and today I'll be teaching y'all how to successfully make your own closure wig at home by hand. There is no gatekeeping, so if you want to see exactly how I achieved this wig from start to finish, then keep on watching. Now, the tools you will need is some nylon thread, a couple of curved C needles, and a stretch mesh spandex dome cap. And you want to make sure that you have a mannequin head that fits the circumference of your head. Mine is a 23-inch, and I did go ahead and place that spandex mesh cap on my mannequin head. Now, when it comes to sewing down the closure, I do like to bring the closure's hairline about an inch in front of the actual cap. And then I like to tack it down in the middle first using a T-pin. And I am going to go ahead and work on the middle and then the side. And then I like to go in the back in the middle just to go ahead and tack that down so we can stretch it evenly on each side. Then I like to work on one side in the back, and then one side in the front, and then the back again. And you want to make sure that your closure is very taut, it's not lifting up, it doesn't have any bubbles, because this is going to be the foundation of your wig. So if you have any air bubbles inside of your closure will come out bumpy and will be folding when you put it on your head. But as y'all can see, she is nice and tight, and I am going to go ahead and braid my hair away just so that we can have it out of the way for when we are sewing down the tracks. Okay, but I like to do this, I like to do it like a one big cornrow in the middle of it just to really get the hair out the way, because sometimes a ponytail just doesn't do it any justice. Now, this is a very crucial part. As you guys can see, this is the mesh and the spandex part, and there are two layers. We have the first layer, which is strictly just the mesh that you'll be sewing through, and then you have a layer where there's mesh and spandex. Now, for a good stretch, you do want to make sure that you're only sewing through the mesh and not through the mesh and the elastic band, because it will cause your wig to actually shrink if you sew through both layers instead of just one. But when it comes down to sewing, I like to go ahead and just put my needle through and bring it all the way out. And then what I am going to go ahead and do is sew through that same area in the beginning of the closure and sew it again just to create a knot. For me personally, when it comes to the end of my closures or beginning my closures, I don't like to create a knot. I like to go through the same place about 2 times to create my knot, just so that there isn't any bumps, because sometimes knots can cause bumps and I don't want that. So I sew through the same place twice, and I am sewing my closure downward, as you guys can see, and the 2 threads are on each side of the needle. That is how I sew, and it creates this small little bridge of thread together. And when I'm sewing, I like to sew pretty close together. I don't sew on top of one another, but especially when it comes to the closure, you want to make sure that you're sewing pretty close together so there are no bubbles throughout the closure. The wider your bridge is, the more bubbles or more air that it will be able to get through your closure. So you want to make sure that you're sewing very close together. Keep them, you know, pretty close, just so that you do not have any bubbles inside of your closure. As you can see, as I am sewing, I do like to hold on to the thread at the end, just so that we can have it nice and tight. And again, you want to make sure that you pull, but not pull too hard. Okay, so I'm going to continue this process all throughout this one side. And when I am done with this one side, I do like to tie a knot, which I will show in the next clip, before I go on to the other side. And I like working on sides to sides first, just because I want to make sure that this closure is pulled very taut. And as y'all can see, I am now on the other side, and then I'm going to work on the back last. And once you get to the top, I do like to remove the T-pins that are there, just so that it doesn't get intertwined with the thread. And again, we are just sewing very close together and sewing downwards as well, creating that bridge. Okay, Now, normally people would think that once you reach towards the end that you will just tie your knot and call it a day, but for me, I like to go a bit past the end and kind of reinforce the other side a bit and kind of do a forward stitch, I would say, just to ensure security when it comes to our sewing, because it is very easy for your closure to unravel. But once I did that forward stitch, I then go ahead and wrap around my thread that is attached to the closure around my needle 3 times, and then pull, and then I spread the thread across, and I do that 2 times just to make sure that our knots are secured and they are super small and they don't unravel throughout the entire process. So again, I wrap it around the needle 3 times, and then I pull, and then I separate the thread apart just to tighten it, and then we're going to cut it off. And as y'all can see, this is how your closure should look like. No bubbles, no nothing, okay? But now it is on to placing our tracks. We are going to be using a metallic Sharpie. I like the color silver. And I am going to go ahead and start at the nape area, but above the elastic band. As y'all can see, I am very avoidant when it comes to the elastic band because we do not want to alter the shape of our wig cap at all. Okay, so I do like to start above the elastic band at the bottom. When it comes to spacing of my markings, I do like to do my markings about 1 inch to like 1.5 inches away from each other. I don't like them super close to one another. We are working with 4 bundles of long hair, so there's not much track I do have, but this will ensure that my tracks are close together without me running out of tracks at the same time. Okay, so I am following the curvature of the wig head. As I can see, I start in the middle, then work from side to side, and this is how your markings should look like. Now onto the hair. This hair is from the Beauty Alley, New Jersey. She sent me over 4 bundles of her Raw Indian Wavy, and the base colorist is Nay Inspirations. She went ahead and did this beautiful burgundy base for me, and all the hair specs will be listed down below in my description bar. But now onto the sewing. I am going to go ahead and double weft, which means I'm going to double up the tracks, and I'm going to pull my thread through the entire track first, and then we're going to go ahead and start sewing it onto the wig cap. This will just ensure that we have our track nice and tight to our hair. And again, I am sewing downwards, so what I like to do is I like to go through the mesh and not through the mesh and the spandex, and I am just going to sew through. And like the same thing like I've done with the closure, I do like to go through the same spots in the very beginning about 2 to 3 times just to create my knot. And then I'm going to use my T-pin and pin down the other side just so that it is easier for us to sew. And once I went through the beginning part twice, I do like to go ahead and go downward and sew downward, making sure that the needle is in between the 2 threads. And then about every 4 to 5 sews, I do like to create a knot just so that our tracks aren't going anywhere. And when it comes to actually sewing this, I would definitely say that my threading isn't as close together as my closure is. Otherwise, we will never get done with this wig. I do keep them a little bit farther apart from one another, still close enough just so that we don't have any rippling or any gaps within the hair, because that is also how it is very easy for your tracks to come out when they are too far apart. So yeah, y'all, you just want to keep on sewing downwards. Like I said, have the needle in between the 2 threads, and come down. Okay, and I'm just repeating this process all throughout the entire track until we get towards the ending. And like I did say, I did go ahead and tie a knot, wrapping the thread around the needle around 2 to 3 times within every 4 to 5 sews that I did, just to ensure that my tracks are not going anywhere and that it doesn't naturally unravel. Now, once I start getting to the end, this is where I make sure that the tracks are secure. I do like to go ahead and start backtracking, like I did say, almost as if like we are doing it on a sewing machine. I like to backtrack just to make sure that it is nice and secure, because one thing about it is that when you do your knots towards the ending, sometimes if you're combing hard enough, it can unravel, and we do not want that. So again, we're just gonna go back a couple of sews into the wefts, and then I'm going to go ahead and tie the knot using the thread and wrapping the thread around the needle 3 times, and I'm going to go ahead and do that twice. So once we pull, I then go ahead and spread the thread apart and tighten it just so that the knot is nice and tight. And then I'm going to go ahead and do that one more time. And when I am sewing, like I said, especially when it comes to the elastic part, I only sew through the mesh and not through the mesh and the elastic band. And then I'm going to go ahead and wrap it around 3 times and then pull through. And then I'm going to go ahead and separate that thread just to tighten that knot. And then once that is done, I am going to go ahead and I cut the tracks first. Now, this is very important because if you don't do this, sometimes it can unravel on you. I like to cut the track first and then cut the thread second. So if there is any unraveling, I still have the thread where I can, reinforce that area. And I cut the thread last. And boom, this is our first track, y'all. As you can see, she is looking tight, okay? And as I'm tugging on it, there's no holes, there's no bubbles. She's not going nowhere, okay? And this is me about 2 bundles in. As y'all can see, it looks super neat. It's not going anywhere. It's nice and durable, almost as if like you sewed it on a sewing machine. And now I'm not going to talk anymore. I'm just going to let y'all see the process. I repeat this all throughout the hair, y'all. So just enjoy the scenery as I sew down these tracks. And now that we are on the top, I am actually singling out my tracks. And what I am doing is that I am making sure that I am going through the closure, but I'm also going through the mesh as well, just to sew on our last track. You do want your track and your closure to touch one another, to be right next to one another. You don't want any gaps in between the closure and your last track that should be hugging the closure. So like I said, I do go through the closure and then the mesh just to make sure that we have a very flush wig, okay? And this is what will make or break your wig. This, you have to make sure that for one, it's flat, but also two, that there is no gaps in between your last track and your closure. And again, like I said, I am sewing downwards and I'm sewing pretty close together so there's no gaps in between. And I'm gonna do that all throughout the hair. And I do like to make sure that my tracks are single tear just because I don't want the top of my hair to be bumpy. Now to seal the deal with this track, I'm actually gonna go upwards with my needle just because it's a bit harder to kind of backtrack um using the needle downwards. But I'm just gonna go ahead and go upwards just to tie that knot because I also didn't want the knot to just be sitting on top of the track. I did want it to be higher up, and then I'm going to wrap around my needle 3 times, twice, and then pull my thread apart just to tighten up that knot. And then now once that is done, I'm going to cut off my track first, and then we are going to cut off the excess thread second. Now, once you followed all my steps, this is how your wig should look. But now onto the final step. We are going to go ahead and cut off this excess cap around and underneath our closure piece. And you want to make sure that you're looking at the thread underneath, especially the last thread that you will see. That is where the closure is sewn at. And you want to cut right in front of it and cut around it as well too. So I kind of start on both sides first and then cut around, but you do not want to cut on top of it because you can run the risk of cutting off the thread, and that is no fun because your closure will start unraveling. So just be very careful with this part, making sure that you're cutting right in front of that thread just to remove that excess cap. And this is what makes your wig look natural underneath. And this is how your wig should look. Now, I do have my final part, which is how I colored, layered, and curled this hair. So if you want to see the final part of me styling this wig, y'all stay tuned for the next video that I will be dropping later on today. I'm going to go into the nitty-gritty details on how I had these cute, heavy layers all up in my hair. But yes, y'all, I hope y'all enjoyed this video, found this very informative. Like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see y'all in the next video. Later.